Hey y'all, it's story time around the fire table. Tonight I want to tell y'all a story that just proves that not all hunters are as ethical as what they should be. Anyway, it's an unbelievable story. You're going to go, there's no way, and I promise you it happened. So I was guiding on a place out west of San Antonio, and I don't know, the place had 4 or 5 blinds on it. We had 3 hunters in camp that weekend, and so first morning we take them out, put them in their blinds, and I had a buddy of mine with me that weekend. We were bow hunting on the other side of the ranch, but it wasn't all that far. So, I could tell if a gun went off in one of the blinds. I could tell which blind the gun went off from. I knew the ranch well enough and knew that, whoever was in that blind, that blind shot. So, put all the hunters in their blinds, and sure enough, 2 of the blinds shot. So we go pick up the one guy. He got him a deer. We load it in a truck. We drive around, pick up another guy, go around, pick up the last guy. And I said, got a truck. I said, what'd you shoot? He said, well, I didn't shoot. So you sure? He goes, yeah, I didn't shoot anything. Okay. So me and my buddy kind of look at each other like, well, we know that gunshot came from this blind. So we kind of look around a little bit, kind of take our time getting him and getting everything back in the truck and stuff. So take him out that evening. We rotate blinds. We always rotated blinds. That was just kind of the rule, unless they agreed between themselves that they wanted to stay where they were. We rotated blinds. So we rotate. We were blind. Everybody moves to another blind. So we go off, go get in our stands and hunt. One shot that evening. So I went to pick my buddy up, dark, and I told him, I said, says that same guy that said he didn't shoot this morning, I said he shot tonight. He goes, yeah, that's the blind we put him in. He says, I heard it. He says, that had to be where it was. I said, okay. So we go pick everybody up. We get over to him. The other 2 guys didn't shoot. They said they didn't shoot. We get to him. What'd you shoot? I didn't shoot anything. You sure? Sure didn't sound like that shot that we heard came from this direction. Oh no, that wasn't me. Okay. So the next morning we put the hunters in the blinds, rotate them again. So he's in a new blind again. This time I went and sat off in the brush. He was like down a cliff. We had the blind at the bottom of this cliff. So I went and sat in the brush at the top of that cliff where I would know. Sure enough, I couldn't see him, but the gun went off out of that blind. No doubt. So one of the other guys had shot out of the blind that he had sat in the night before. And when we picked him up, he's like, yeah, I ran this away. Okay. So we go looking for his animal, and we find, we see a white belly underneath some bushes over there and stuff. So, hey, it's over here, stuff. We get over there. Well, it wasn't a deer that he shot. It was a deer that the guy shot the night before that said he didn't shoot. Okay. So I don't question him. I don't, jump onto him. I don't run him off like I should or anything like that. I just let it go. So I did call, my boss and say, hey, this is what's going on. How do you want me to handle it? He's like, oh, just let it slide. I said, okay. So we get over to pick that guy up, and like I said, I was sitting behind him. I know for a fact that gun went off in that blind. So we get down there. I said, what'd you shoot? I didn't shoot. I said, look. I said, I was sitting like 200 yards behind you. I know that a gun went off in this blind. Nope, wasn't me. I'm like, really? I mean, it's okay if you miss, or you it doesn't matter, and stuff. No, I didn't shoot. All right. So the following morning, we put them all in blinds again, and the guy that sat in that blind that was down below that bluff shot a deer, and it didn't fall, it took off. So we get to looking for this deer, and we're tracking this deer, and again we find another deer, and it's like, I mean, this is like borderline wanton wasted meat. This is borderline against the law. I mean, you just can't do this. And so anyway, nothing we can do about it. So it's their last day anyway. They're leaving at noon. So we all of us, me, my buddy, and those three guys, we're all tracking this deer. And we track him around over to another like cliff face, and it's probably, I don't know, 50, 60 feet tall. It's pretty tall, ridge line cliff. And this deer who is shot goes up that cliff face. How he got up there, I don't know, because I couldn't get up there. We had to go find another way to get up there. But we do, and sure enough, get over to where he came up, and there's a big pool of blood right there where he had stopped after he got up it. And we never, the whole time we was tracking this deer, we never bumped him that we know of, or anything. So at this point, we're pushing an hour into this search for this deer. So, and it's not like we don't have a lot of blood, but we've got blood. So it's not like we're looking for blood all the time. So we go another probably 300 or 400 yards. Took a while, a lot of thick brush. Found a couple of other spots where he had stopped and stood for an extended period of time because there was bigger pools of blood. Nowhere did he lay down that we found. And anyway, it gets to one of the cross fences. So where this cross fence was, there was a road right on the other side of it, and then the pasture that it went into was, the brush was cleared along the fence to the left, and it was pretty thick for about 75 to 100 yards wide, and then it got real light. The brush got real light where you could really see good. But from that fence where that road was, where we crossed to the other fence, the direction the deer was going was another probably 300 yards. So me and my buddy, we come up with a plan. He's going to go over and walk the fence line and see if he can find maybe where he turned left and crossed that fence, and go on around and see if he can pick it up on the other end where he might have made it all the way that far and crossed that fence, because that's neighbors now. We're done. So I said, okay, I'm gonna stay on the blood, and told these other guys, you know, if y'all want to, you know, just kind of spread out, you know, either side of me, and you know, one of y'all stay with me, and then two on either side, about 10 yards or so. And we'll just ease down through here, and we'll try to stay on the blood, see if we see him laying down or something. Stuff. They're like, okay, that sounds like a plan. Give us about 15-20 minutes. We're gonna walk back up to camp and get some water. None of us had any water. So we're gonna get some water. Okay, no problem. So I'm gonna be on the blood. Flag the trail right there where on the fence where we cross, so they'll know where I'm at. Said, you know, my buddy's gonna go down the fence line over here and stuff and everything. You know, we'll be here tracking a deer. Y'all go get water. Okay. So me and my buddy, we track this deer, and we end up losing the blood off in the middle of this little patch of brush. And he never finds where that deer crossed any of the fences. Walk the other side to see if we can see where he came out of the brush to the right. Don't see it there. We worked our way back and forth, all the way through that brush and everything for over 2 hours. Them guys never came back with any water. We were over there for over 2 more hours looking for this deer by ourselves. And I told my buddy, I said, well, you know, I don't know what to say. You know, we ain't gonna find him. He's like, I agree. I said, okay, well, you know, we gave it our all, which is what you should do. You should give it your all. You know, you shoot a deer, you wound a deer, you need to do everything in your power to find that deer. You know, if you can afford to hire a tracking dog, you need to hire a tracking dog. Bring in extra help, whatever it takes. Unfortunately, here in Texas, we're not allowed to use drones for deer recovery, so that's kind of out. Wish it wasn't, but it is. Anyway, so we gather up our stuff and head back to camp. We're thirsty. I mean, we're dying. It's like, you know, we started this track at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's already after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we get back to camp. Camp's empty. Them guys packed up and left. I mean, it was kind of a heartbreaking moment, I guess. Mad moment. Getting really upset about it. But, you know, what do you do in those situations? You know, it was agreed with my boss. It was agreed that, you know, he wasn't going to book them guys ever again. You know, they weren't welcome back after what they did and stuff. Especially that one guy that just, you know, kept saying he didn't shoot. At least three times he shot. I know for a fact. We found 2 of the animals that he shot and claimed he never shot. And we found both of those animals. If he'd have said both of those animals were less than 100 yards from that feeder, and we would have found them. I've got no words. I don't know. I mean, what goes through people's heads like that? You know, are they, you know, just because the deer run off, shot with a gun? A lot of deer run off when they're shot with a gun. You know, they don't all just fall down right there. It happens. And, you know, me and my buddy, we're both very, very, very experienced bow hunters. We are really good at tracking. And, you know, I mean, that last deer that we tracked, they left us on, instead we tracked that deer for, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile before we finally lost blood and just couldn't find him. But, you know, I mean, I feel good just simply because I know that me and my buddy, we did everything in our power to accommodate them and to find their animals and make sure that they had an enjoyable hunt, even though the circumstances wasn't great. And I think one of his buddies, one of the other guys, I think he was getting a little perturbed at the whole situation too, just kind of the way he was acting and things he was saying and stuff. But anyway, it's just sorry, you know. there's no excuse for that. You know, don't be that guy. You know, everybody messes up. You know, if you don't mess up, you're not going to learn as much. You know, so that's how we learn. We learn by making mistakes. You know, which is okay. You know, you don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to wound a deer or any animal for that matter. But you know, take responsibility and do what you can to find that animal. You know, you decided to pull the trigger. You decided to take that animal's life. It's your responsibility to follow through with your actions and utilize that animal for food and for whatever, you know, you have intended for shooting it. So anyway, you know, I guess I can leave y'all on a kind of a comical note about the whole thing. As crazy as the weekend was, those guys left me the biggest tip of the year. Go figure. Didn't bring me any damn water to drink, but they left me the biggest tip that year. Crazy. I don't understand. Anyway, hunt smart, hunt ethically, hunt morally, do the right thing, have a good time, enjoy what God gave us. Y'all have a good night.